Hey guys, this is Chinonso Wogu and you're welcome to another episode of The Builder Story powered by Sabi Writers. This is a podcast where we explore, we x-ray and we dig deep into the stories of builders in Africa. People who continue to build institutions that inspire us for change. Today I have an amazing personality in the studio like you always do. And this is a woman that has inspired me and continue to inspire younger entrepreneurs for what she's doing in a legacy brand. Today on the show, we'll be asking her questions to learn from her how you can build here in Africa. But before we get right into this interview, I would like to encourage every one of you listening and watching us today. If you are yet to subscribe on this channel, please subscribe, click on the link, notification link, so that you can be the first to get our video when it drops. So I'll be right back and I'll be introducing my guest.
Explore Africa's rich heritage, culture, people, history, food, diversities, dreams, and unlock the spirit of Africa through the finest art of storytelling. Ayo by Sabi Writers. An online marketplace for short, authentic African stories. At the tap of a button, you can shop and enjoy your favorite African stories for 1,000 Naira only. Whether you are in Lagos, London, Nairobi, or New York, Ayo by Sabi Writers brings the true beauty of Africa closer to you. Join our global community of readers today to explore the beauty of Africa through storytelling. Visit ayo.sabywriters.com to browse and shop today.
You're welcome back to The Builder Story. Today I have an amazing guest in the studio. Her name is Mrs. Ayo Anibaba, the Deputy Managing Director of Sweet Sensation. Sweet Sensation is one of Nigeria's leading quick service restaurants. And today they are doing incredibly well. I would like to learn from her, just like you would like to. And today she's here in the studio with me. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor to have you join me in the studio.
Pleasure to be here.
Here in The Builder Story. The Builder Story for me, it's a platform where we want to make stories like yours. People who are leading institutions that stand tall, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa, and get to hear from them the behind the scene, the struggles, the victories, the lessons, it's particularly for young builders here in Nigeria and by extension, Africa. So having you in the studio is a great honor. You're someone that both of us have spoken at different stages. We'll be speaking somewhere on Saturday. So your story resonates well with me.
Thank you.
But I'm sure there are many people that want to learn from you. So just walk me through. I know Sweet Sensation started in 1994.
Yes.
And it was founded by your mom.
Yes.
So I know there are stories that she has that you probably don't have, but let me see the story from your lens.
Okay.
Just tell us the story around Sweet Sensation.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
It's really a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
So there's many stories within the story, and my mother started the company 31 years ago.
Okay.
And she started at the back of our house, right?
Okay.
And I always tell people, I remember waking up in the morning, maybe getting ready for school around 5, 6 a.m. And my mother would be behind her house in some oven setup she had set up behind her house, right? So she had an array of ovens along the fence behind her house, and she was there sort of baking cakes, mixing things, flour, egg, all of that stuff. And then she'll step away to help us with breakfast, get us off to school. And then my memories are very distinct. I come back home and my mother is still there behind the house with those ovens. At that point, the cakes have been baked and she's maybe icing them and getting them ready to dispatch. So my memories, those are the foundational memories before the brand even became what it was.
Okay.
She started working really, really hard at home while she was raising us children.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's...
Were you, when you were growing up, because when we talk about entrepreneurship, there is this mindset that you always have to start from scratch. You have to be the one to start something for you to be called an entrepreneur. You did not start Sweet Sensation, but you're taking it, you stepped in when the company, what year did you step fully into the company?
So I stepped in about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Into the company. And, there's the person who builds the brand, right?
Okay.
And that's very important. The first generation, the founder, the visionary, the pioneer.
Okay.
And then we all know that you can't start a company and sustain it forever. Life doesn't work that way.
No, of course.
Right? So people have to carry it on. But I even have my own foundation story, right?
Okay.
My career was in a place where I had to build. I had to build resilience. I had to build independence.
Was it in accounting?
It was in accounting.
Okay, because I read your story and
Yes.
you also followed the same path as your mom.
I did.
Okay.
Interestingly, we worked at the same firm,
really?
PricewaterhouseCoopers,
Yes.
in different parts of the world. But I remember that background was very foundational for me because it's not an easy career, right? You're working very hard. You're working on multiple clients. There's tight deadlines. It's highly regulated. You're leading large teams and you have a lot to deliver. So that foundation of discipline, accountability, attention to detail, leading a variety of teams is part of my own building story that has then translated into how I now try to carry the legacy forward with Sweet Sensation.
Okay, would you say the transition for you was difficult, or maybe that foundation prepared you for what you're doing today?
The foundation helped, but nothing prepares you for leading business in Nigeria fully. It's a different ballgame, as I'm sure you know.
Was there a particular entrepreneurial culture shock that is different from PwC, where you were coming from, and running a company of nature of Sweet Sensation in Nigeria? Was there any shock difference in terms of?
I don't know if it was. There was a lot of differences.
Okay.
Coming from a structured environment, right, where there's a way things operate and there's a precedent to follow. Coming to an environment where things are still happening, but they're not happening always with a lot of structure, right? Also coming from an environment where there's certain accountability metrics that keep everybody in check. You don't have to tell people that they should get to work on time.
Okay.
You don't have to tell people that they have deliverables. The structure sort of forces people to operate in a certain way. So those were definitely differences in PwC versus coming to work in Nigeria.
Okay.
The difference in structure is very apparent. And then sometimes people can be different. Yeah.
I know that statement is packed full.
Oh, it is.
Just before we started, we were discussing something related to that. Because I know I've said this before, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anybody leading a company in Nigeria that says they don't have people problem, then they are not telling us the complete story.
Absolutely.
Would you say that's correct?
It's 150% correct.
Why so?
Because you can't do anything without people.
Okay.
You need people to execute the vision. You need people to drive strategy forward. No one can do it by themselves, right? So if the skill of getting people together to work together, collaborate, and work together towards the same goal, the right people with the right mindsets, and to get all those blocks in order, right? So sometimes you have good people in one area, but you don't have good people in another area. And it affects each other. And then sometimes you plug a hole in one area, you think you're settled, but then something happens. Maybe somebody resigns or somebody gets sick.
True.
So it's always a juggling act, trying to balance issues with people.
Okay.
And getting the right people, keeping them, retaining them. Some would leave for better opportunities, and sometimes you can't do a lot about that. Okay.
You run I know people say food business is you're not only you are at the intersection of food business and retail. So it's a beast on its own.
Yes.
How many outlets do you guys operate now?
We have 20 normal outlets, and then we have 4 what we call kiosks.
Okay. And what's the size of the team now?
We have about 1,000 staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, riding on that, talking about people, how do you lead such a number of people and you still remain this calm, beautiful, no stress? I don't think you're practicing the same entrepreneurship that we are practicing.
No. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. Stress is high. Stress is high, but that's a separate topic, right? I think every entrepreneur, every builder in Nigeria needs to learn how to manage stress. I think that is something that we all need to do so that you can stay healthy for the journey.
Okay.
Right? There's no point falling apart, falling sick, etc. So stress management, let's just park that to the side. But it's something that is extremely important, and everyone knows how they manage stress.
Yeah.
I think I naturally come across as calm, but it doesn't mean that
you don't go through your own battles.
No, of course, we all go through battles, right? But being calm helps me manage them better.
Okay.
I don't see the point in shouting and screaming. I can send you a message that sends the point across. I don't need to shout or scream, right? So
leading a company in Nigeria, particularly a company like Sweet Sensation, from your own standpoint, what would you say would be the top 3, if I should narrow it down to top 3, secrets or keys to your success in Sweet Sensation? What are those top 3 factors that led to success? Because I read the story, started from small, and then in 31 years, you have not only built, you're also building for the next generation, because a lot of companies don't survive. First cutoff mark is 5 years. A lot of companies go out of business. Then the next 5 years, more companies go out. So what is that top 3 success factors that led to your survival in the last 30 years, from your own perspective?
Yeah. Let me try and see what comes to mind quickly. I would say number 1, resilience.
Okay.
The brand is very resilient. My mother is very resilient.
Okay.
The company has seen a lot happen. Going from being a pioneer in the industry, we're the first on scene, we pioneered the whole concept of quick service.
Okay.
And then other people enter the industry and they shake things up, right? And I think that's the beauty and pain of competition. People can see what you're doing and then they have the liberty to say, okay, they're doing this, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it better.
Yeah,
and
true,
I'm going to do it with more money.
True.
Right? So you have to be resilient. You have to have we're not going to give up mindset. You have to have a mindset that, my company has a role it's playing. My company has a space in this industry. And we're going to keep working hard to maintain that space.
Okay.
So I think resilience is critical.
Okay.
I would say people, going back to people, right? You have to keep navigating everything that relates to managing people, right? You can't have I'm done with people and then you leave people alone. You have to keep looking at it. For me, I keep looking at our structure like, I see this person is here, this person is here. Is this still making sense? Are we still aligned with
By the way, I'm taking notes of some of the things they are saying. So
is our structure still aligned with delivering value in the market that we are in now?
Okay.
As this area, so maybe as e-commerce is booming, do I have the right person leading that part of our business? Do we need to carve that role out? With HR, do we have the right people driving HR in a space that we are now with the new generation of workforce, right? So you have to keep looking at people over and over again and be willing to make changes so that you have the right people in the right spot so that you can drive the strategy of the business forward. And then I would say innovation, that's maybe the last one. And, I think this is an area where being first on site, you sometimes get comfortable, right? You start off being audacious, you're innovating, you're opening outlets.
True.
As you open outlets, people are coming, they're trooping in, right? And that was maybe 20, 30 years ago. But then you get to a point in the economy that you need to do things a lot differently to still attract the new audience of people.
True.
The new generation of people. So you have to remain innovative and then you have to keep challenging that. And innovation is not just about technology, it's a mindset, right? How are we still offering what people want? Are we still doing business in a way that makes sense? Are we still, there's so many things to think about. You have to be ready to challenge anything that is happening, because if you don't disrupt yourself, other people will disrupt you. And then that becomes more difficult to manage.
You have thrown a lot of insight at me, and I'm trying to see which one to ride on. There's something you said that is quite striking. You said, keep looking at the people. Keep looking at the people. Let me paraphrase it and you confirm if that's what you're saying to young entrepreneurs listening. What you're saying is you must make people problem your everyday discussion or conversation.
Yeah.
You can never get to the point where you say to yourself, you have sorted out issues around talents and people. So every day you must be asking the talent question.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct. And it could mean different things. It could mean checking in on how your people are doing. That's something that you do continuously. It could be measuring their performance, right? How are they doing? Having those discussions with them. It could be training them, right? How are you training your people? That is still looking at people problems. It could be about how do you retain them, right? If they've been with you a few years, you may understand that some people may want to move on, but how do you continue to have those discussions with them so you know how they're doing? And you know, you can get a sense of what their pulse is. It could be rewarding them, right? Because at some point, people want to be rewarded and recognized for the work that they're putting in. So you must have metrics in place and ways in place to measure how they're doing and reward them and keep them. It could be disciplining them, right? So when things are not going right, but people-related matters continue to be pervasive throughout, your evaluation of the company.
So what do you say to that? Because I'm sure there's an entrepreneur that is watching this episode that probably has gotten to that place where they have given up on their people. Now, there are people, let's be real, there are entrepreneurs who have given up. They still pay them salary, they still come to work, but psychologically they have zoned out. They are no more believing in anything people. So things like training, things like, coaching, supporting them, their mind is no more in that space. So what would you say because right now you're telling me that this is an endless journey. You have to keep doing it at every stage of the business. But what about somebody that's already given up? What would you say to that person?
I would say that's a tough place to be, right? I would say if you've given up on people, it's almost a signal that you may have given up on the company or whatever you're building. And, it doesn't, in a larger organization, it doesn't always have to be done by the person who's building. If you have an HR function or a function with people and culture and human resources, they can help drive some of that agenda. But you can't afford to, except you plan to do everything yourself, you can't afford to take your eyes off people because you're also creating a culture, right? If it's okay that people don't do what they're supposed to do and people do anyhow and you leave them, then you're creating a culture within your organization, and that culture will eventually seep into how they serve the customers, right? Or how they deliver on whatever your business is doing. So you have to keep looking at people. I don't see any way around it. Because,
some persons, I always say to entrepreneurs that you can have a good reason why you don't want to develop your people. But at the end of the day, what kind of business are you building?
So, yes, we agree. Great foundation, great heritage, great everything. And there's a lot of respect for that. However, we all need to agree that what we now need to do is different. We need to think about things differently. Our people strategy needs to change. Our marketing strategy needs to change. How we serve our customers needs to change. And if we don't do that, it's just a matter of time, right? And, the examples are very, very evident. So everybody sort of agrees that it's true. We need to evolve because evolution is the right thing to do for the business.
True.
It's not anymore about people's personal agenda or people's personal ego. It is about what is right so that this business can thrive.
Okay, so you are leading such an amazing company, and I know, and you will agree with me, that leadership is not only tough but lonely. So have you ever been in a very tough position as a leader, driving change or rather driving growth in a company? If you have been, can you share with us? Was that moment you were stuck between the devil at the dead blue sea, or maybe it was just a moment where you're at a crossroad in terms of making a leadership decision? Because I'm sure leading such a company, there probably would have been a time or two where you felt lonely.
Yeah, so that question is loaded, right? And in terms of loneliness, I think I'm grateful to have very supportive family and friends. I'm also involved in a number of communities that sort of keep me grounded, right? And my faith is strongly rooted in God. So loneliness is not necessarily something that that affects me. I'm even quite happy to be alone from time to time, right? So that's the loneliness part. But, leadership, you do have to make some tough calls. And it's almost on a daily basis, right? So say, for instance, you make a change in the organization and you know that some people are not going to like it. You know they're not going to like it because it makes them feel bad, makes them feel whatever the case may be. But you know that that is the change that you need to make.
Okay.
It's now a matter of courage and also a matter of conviction, right? So if you are certain that this change is for the betterment of the organization, but unfortunately it may not serve one or two people, right? And it's not, it's not a personal vendetta. It is that my interest and my focus is on preserving the organization and growing it.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to make tough calls like that. Many examples come to mind.
Okay.
But some of them are quite delicate in terms of the details.
I get you.
It's being able to make those changes that can upset certain people,
Okay.
but need to be done to preserve the organization, right? So even having to let some people go, right? So
I can see you're reflecting. I'm sure this.
having to let some people go
Yeah.
because you've tried. They just don't. Maybe they don't have the skill set, the capability to take the organization to the next level. Their skills were appropriate for a time, but now the time requires different skills. And, unfortunately, maybe they haven't upskilled, they're not able to learn effectively at that point, and you have to make tough decisions that serve the company.
Okay.
So I think I just try to do those things as gracefully as I can, but there's no way around tough decisions. That's why they are called tough decisions. They are tough.
True.
Yeah.
There's something you just mentioned, and I think I just want to write on it. You said you have not been lonely, as it were, because of the family support. What's the role of family support when it comes to building in Nigeria? I just have to go there because I will tell you, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a medical doctor, I don't have the data, but I can tell you that a lot of builders, a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria are dealing with depression, right? Many of them are lonely. Many of them feel lost. There is actually a burden. I don't know. There's what somebody used, the burden of a builder. So now you have a support system called family. How does that work for an average builder in Nigeria? What's the role of family in all of these things?
So that's a great question.
Yeah,
and let's use family, friends, community. By community, it could be church, it could be whatever religious affiliation that you have. It could be women's group, men's group.
Okay.
Let's put that all in the same bucket, right? I think having people that you can be real with is important.
Okay.
Right? Because I know builders are very passionate about building whatever it is that they're building.
True.
But I think you have to remember that there's other tenets of your life as well that you have to sort of keep in balance, right?
Okay.
There's family life, there's your emotional life, there's your spiritual life, there's your financial life, there's your physical life, there's your mental health, right? All of those things, I think builders have to be mindful that they're keeping things in balance because otherwise they will burn out. Or like you said, some people might get depressed. They are lonely, they are struggling all by themselves. So you have to sort of balance things out, whatever that means for you. For some people, it could be that, look, on Sundays, I'm going to go with my family to here. We're going to spend time together so that I can operate outside of the stress, the everyday stress of my business. For some people, it could be that, listen, every morning I'm going to go for a run to clear my head and to get, feel better from exercising.
Yes.
But I think it varies for different people. But I don't think it's in builders' best interest to neglect everything else while they're so focused on building.
True.
Because why are you even doing all of that, right? You have, and then you need your family. You need that support system.
True.
You need someone that you can, call and say, listen, this thing is stressing me out. And the person says, okay, let's talk about it. Let's pray about it. Let's go out. Let's do this. Whatever the case may be, people need that.
I think I agree with you because I remember at the early years of Sabi Writers where we were there's this particular season where we had a lot of staffing issues, cultural issues. We were at a cultural mess, or rather we're in a cultural mess. And my channel for venting was my wife. So anytime I come back then when I came back home, she would say, "What happened again?" And then I would start ranting.
Yep. My husband hears a lot of stories.
Lord
So he knows
Almighty.
everybody. Even my children know some people.
Yeah. So what you are saying invariably that as an entrepreneur or a builder or a leader leading a team, you must consciously create that, because sometimes they don't gravitate towards you naturally. You just have to consciously create your own support system.
Yes.
It could be your wife, it could be your husband, your dad, your mom, your parents, your siblings, whatever it is. Just have a support system that allows you to blow off steam.
Yes.
When it gets to your head.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. How would you describe yourself as a leader? How would you describe, if you were to describe yourself using maybe three, let me use top three again, adjectives?
I would say an empowering leader. I strive to empower the people that I lead so that they can deliver, right?
Okay.
So I want people who I lead to know that I'm supportive of them, I'm here for them.
Okay.
But I'm not, and maybe that's one thing. I want to empower the people I lead because I think there's so much value in empowering the people that you lead.
True.
I'm also a very growth-focused person, and by extension, a growth-focused leader, which means that I want things to get better. I don't do well with this is how it is or this is how it's going to be, right? So I want the systems to get better. I want the people to get better. I want to be able to see someone that I lead saying, to be able to see someone who has evolved in their trajectory with the company, right? Like I want to be able to say, this person started here and look at this person now, speaking up, doing things, leading meetings, right? So I would say I'm a very growth-focused leader. And the last one, I think I'm personable as well. I'm a personable leader, which doesn't really need much explanation.
True.
But I like to get to know the people I work with.
Okay.
And I'm quite serious. So as serious as I am, I do like to be able to have some personable moments with my team, the people I lead as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me pick the first description that you mentioned, empowering leader, because I'm sure whenever I get invited to speak to entrepreneurial CEOs, this question always pops up. In fact, that's part of the things we'll be addressing on Saturday. How do I empower my people? What are the, it's good to empower. I know it's important to empower, but what are the nuts and bolts for getting that done? What are the top things that I can start implementing first thing Monday morning when it comes to empowering leaders? You have a practical experience. You do it for such a large number of people. Aside the fact that you don't have direct contact with the 1,000, you still, your impact cascades down to the people.
Yeah.
So what exactly are the things or the things we think we should know or do to be able to empower people? If you can just give me a list, that would be good.
Okay, I'm going to try and come up with a list as we flow.
Please.
So first of all, I think sometimes people think that they've empowered their team, but they really haven't. Because they haven't sat down to by themselves say, this is what I want my company or my team to do. They are just sort of, everything is crazy, this is not working, but have you sat down to think about what it is that you want to do exactly? So first of all, before you can empower other people, you have to have a lot of clarity around what you want, right?
Clarity.
And to get that clarity, you need to be able to put your thoughts, you need to be able to step out of the noise and put your thoughts on paper, map things out. So I think first of all, to empower anybody, you have to have clarity.
Okay.
Then you need to be able to communicate to those people, right? So sometimes people have it in their head. A leader or a builder may have it in their head. You just think you want people to do certain things. They're not just doing it. But wait, when you think about it, when last did you tell them?
Well, you can't communicate.
You can't communicate. You haven't taken the time to communicate. So when last did you actually sit down and tell these people that you want to empower that this is what you want to do? So communication is important, right? Being able to be clear on what you want and then communicate it to the people that you want to deliver. Yeah. And then when you communicate it to them, you want to make it as clear as possible as well. You want to say, okay, you are my head of finance, for instance. And, we're in a state where we need X. Let's just say we need external funds to construct a new site.
Okay.
right? So you're clear on what you want. Now you go to your head of finance and say, this is what I want to do, right? This is what I want. What are your thoughts, right? Get the person's feedback, get the person's buy-in, get the person to understand what you're trying to achieve and to buy into it. And then, you have the initial discussion around, this is what I'm thinking, and then let people also go and think, right? You can't empower people if you want to micromanage them throughout the process. You don't want them to use their own brain. So why do you have them if you want to use your own brain but their own body? So you want them to go and to empower them, let them go and think about the things that you've empowered them or you've given them some clarity on. Okay. And then support them, right? Support them in public, support them in private. You can't say you're empowering somebody and then you get to a group meeting and then you're just saying, you're not empowering the person, right? You are disempowering them. So support them privately, support them publicly in bringing those things to life. Okay. Wow. There's something I want to... So you said clarity, then as a leader, you must be very proficient when it comes to communication. By the way, when we say communication, we are not necessarily saying, I don't know if that's what I'm correct, but we're not necessarily saying that as a leader, you must be very quaint in your English. No. Because you can be a leader and you are not, you don't speak Queen's English, but you still know how to communicate. Yes. Communication is about how you convey thoughts from your mind to the people that you want to impact, right? Yes. In a way that they understand. Good. Yeah. Because I worry when I see leaders who, do you know that there are CEOs, entrepreneurs who avoid speaking to their people as a way to show power? I've seen it. So they don't talk to their people, they don't communicate, but because they feel like if I communicate to them, they will see me finish. So they avoid having direct, and they always talk from proxy, from policy, from query, and sometimes, punishment, things like that. So do you think that's actually right? Where a leader is deliberately holding back from engaging with the people because he feels like it's a way of showing power? I mean, people have different leadership styles. Crazy. I don't know how that will be effective. For me, that couldn't work. Okay. Right. And again, if you're trying to build something that you do all by yourself, maybe that would work. But if you're trying to build something that you need other people, then how would you not communicate with them? It's anti everything that you're trying to accomplish. True. Except what you just want to build something that is just for you in your little space. But if you want to build something that is relevant, that can outlive you, that is sustainable, going back to the earlier point, you have to do it through people. Yes. And you have to communicate with them. Okay. And you have to do it frequently. There's something to be said around frequent communication. You may say it in a meeting once. You say it in a one-on-one, you say it via email, you reiterate it again during your next discussion, and you don't get tired. So communication is key. Let's talk about, let me ask you this question. Where do you think young entrepreneurs in Nigeria get it wrong? Let me leave that blank open. Where do you think young entrepreneurs in Nigeria get it wrong? That's a good question. Thank you. And I mean, probably a lot of things. I would say maybe trying to arrive too quickly, right? Trying to arrive too quickly, not taking cognizance of the fact that it is a process. It is a process. All these get rich quick schemes or things that you think you're going to start today and automatically everything is just going to work. I think, as I'm saying all of this out, I'm sort of putting my thoughts together. I think not expecting the road to be difficult, we get it wrong that way. If you think it's going to just be easy, then when you hit the first difficulty, you may say, it's true, Seth, this thing is not for me. Or it's true, this is not a good business idea, right? So if you expect that you're going to face difficulties, then you're better suited to manage them as you come through. If you expect that it's going to be a process, that you're going to start, and when you start, you may need to tweak things. When you start, something may not work, but when you learn what did not work, you learn what could work, right? True. But if you think it's just going to be easy and everything is just going to fall into place immediately, once you say, I have this strategy, and I have this vision and I want to do this, then everything is just going to start to manifest. I think that is just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Okay. So if I'm correct, you're saying you should expect that it will be twice as hard, and it will take twice as long.
Yeah.
So that when it starts, you're not surprised. You're grounded. You're prepared to take care of it. So,
did you find that to be the case in you building your business?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. The thing about building a business is it for your own good that you don't see the entire path.
Because you may not go.
Yes, because some persons want to see the entire path, have all the ducks lined up for them before they make that move. But it's deliberate that path is concealed.
Yeah.
I used to tell my people that there are so many things that if I tell you that I did not know when I start Sabi Writers, you will laugh at me. But I started anyway.
Yeah.
So I started figuring my way as you build. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Because if you can tell the entire journey from start, what's the excitement?
Yeah.
There's this excitement that comes from you knowing that there's something behind the red curtain that you need to go and search out for. So yes, I had that experience. I'm still having the experience because you said you have a penchant for growth.
Yes.
And as long as you keep growing, you still keep having that feeling.
Yeah.
So let's pause your thoughts and take a short break. We have been having this conversation with Mrs. Ayo Anibaba, the Deputy Managing Director of Sweet Sensation. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also the notification link so that you'll be one of the first persons to get this video when it drops. So I'll be right back after this short break.
So here's something for you. Do you want to create an audio or video version of your written content? Or maybe you need voiceovers for your adverts, product campaigns, audiobooks, movie trailers, or even a video promo for your next event. Do you also need the right space to host and record your audio or video podcast at a friendly budget? Then, Sabi Writers Studios is the go-to place made just for you. At Sabi Writers Studios, we provide a wide range of media production services that bring your story to life and save you costs. Book us today for your product promos, audiobooks, book trailers, documentaries, podcast recordings, voiceovers, and many more. Our state-of-the-art studios and editing suite caters to all of your media production needs at an expense you can afford. Call or send us a mail now to get started.
Okay, guys, you're welcome. And so far, we have been having beautiful conversations with Mrs. Ayo Anibaba, the Deputy Managing Director of Sweet Sensation. Sweet Sensation, like you know, is one of Nigeria's leading quick service restaurants. And today she has been giving us access to our insight on what it takes to build here in Nigeria. If you have been enjoying this episode, please subscribe, click on the notification button, and then any video that will drop from the Builder Stories table, you always get that and enjoy. So, thank you so much. I just before we came back from the break, we were discussing about the pain and the whole drama that comes with building. Somebody somewhere is watching this video, somebody somewhere is building, and the person is at that let's just picture that person that is at that stage of throwing in the towel. You know, your most important employee just resigned. What would you say to that person? Or, you know, an important vendor just pulled the rug under your feet. Something, somewhere, somehow is happening in your business, and it feels like all hope is lost. And I'm sure you have been in that place. What would you say to that entrepreneur that is going through that experience?
I would say, first of all, I'm sorry that you are dealing with this. I'm sorry that you have to experience this. Number two, I would say you're not alone.
Okay.
Please never think you're alone in this entrepreneurial building journey in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of people that you may look and think don't have issues, don't have problems. There's a lot, even companies that you think, oh, this company must be doing really well. Every company is dealing with some form of stress, pressure, situation, issues that they are trying to manage. So, number one, I'm sorry you're going through this. Number two, you're not alone.
Okay.
Number three, it's okay to feel bad. So maybe go and get a little bit of rest. Go and pause. Go and recalibrate.
Okay.
But please do not give up. Okay. There is something that you're building that people need, whether it's a product, whether it's a service. You're building your nation, right? You are employing people, you're offering a service, and it may seem very difficult, but you cannot afford to give up because there's something behind all of that work. And you may not even understand the magnitude of the impact of what you are building. But if you stop, we're never going to know. We're never going to know you. We're never going to know your company. We're never going to know your product or your service. So please don't give up. Rest, recalibrate, get support. But please come back stronger, knowing that you're not alone in this journey and that you can do it.
Okay. Thanks for that inspiring charge. There's also something I want to add to what she has said. If you are an entrepreneur that is building in Nigeria, you also need to know that there is a certain burden that comes with your role. You can't outstructure it. You can't wish it away. You can't delay it away. You just have to go through that burden. I have mine. I run a team of about 70 employees, Sabi writers, plus other businesses that we do. And I can tell you for free that I have my own burden. I'm sure Mrs. Ayo Anibaba also has hers. And it's just part of the game. But one thing that you must be prepared for is what are the pains teaching you? Because you can't go through a struggle and not live with a lesson. I know you have been shortchanged twice.
Yeah.
So for every struggle, extrapolate a lesson.
Yes. I would love to jump on that.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
You said there's every struggle, there's
a lesson. Yeah.
Another way to look at that is in every chaos, there's a story. Okay, so, and someone said this to me once when I said, what do I want to tell people about Business Vision Journey? There's a lot of issues, chaos, this and that, right? But when I had the mindset that even through this chaos, there's a story. There's a story that can inspire someone else. There's a story that I can tell. There's a story that I can leave behind. And the chaos is part of the journey. Okay. But within that chaos, there is a learning point. There's a story that can inspire someone. Okay. So let's not get too hung up with the chaos. Well, there's a bigger story.
Yes.
There's something that, like you said, there's a lesson. There's something worth learning. And all of that also adds to your, adds to your badge. True. Your badge of experience.
True. I agree with you. Now, let's talk about, we're Nigerians. Let's talk about Nigeria and from the perspective of entrepreneurship. Do you believe, now this from, don't sugarcoat anything, do you believe there are opportunities in Nigeria? Do you believe there are opportunities? Because we hear a lot of negative commentaries and Nigeria has challenges, no doubt. But do you believe that there are opportunities for entrepreneurs in Nigeria?
I strongly believe that there's opportunities for Nigerians in Nigeria. Okay. But I can't say that without saying that we all know that it's a land where trying to harness those opportunities can be challenging. True. So some people would leave to other lands where there's opportunity, but it's easier to pull them out, right? So there's opportunities here. It's just that we can't shy away from the fact that harnessing those opportunities can sometimes be a struggle. Because there's infrastructural challenges. There's all sorts of challenges along that opportunity value chain. But there's definitely opportunities. You just have to be ready to harness them.
For an average entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur wanting to build in Nigeria in particular, what is that one trait that you think that person should have to be able to win in Nigeria? You are winning in Nigeria. Of course, winning does not mean that you don't have your challenges. You're winning. You have a brand that is respected. Sweet Sensation is one of Nigeria's success stories. Sabi Writers is working towards that. Yeah, I'm not trying to be humble.
We are trying to be humble, but it's okay.
So what is that one quality that you think an average entrepreneur in Nigeria should have to win here?
Okay, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and it's worth re-emphasizing. I would say resilience. Resilience, because the journey is not always smooth. In fact, most times it is not. So you just have to have the grit, the grace, and the strength to just keep going, right? You have to be resilient. You have to develop personal resilience. You have to make sure whatever you're building has, corporate or business resilience so that you can overcome and actually get to the point where you are seeing, the fruits of what you have put in.
Okay.
If you're not resilient, you would give up too easily.
Okay.
Give up too quickly.
Okay. I think we'll spend the whole day, having a chat with Mrs. Anibaba here. But let me start wrapping up the interview by asking the following quick questions. Sweet Sensation is 31.
Yes.
If that was a child, that child will be 31 years,
yes.
right? Is eligible to vote, is eligible to sue and be sued. So he's a full-blown adult, right? And given this generational, window shift, that child would probably be a dad or a mom, right? Where are you going next? What's the next phase? Where do you see Sweet Sensation in the next 10 years?
Okay. So, and you used an adult to sort of explain the phase that we're in. And I think similar to an adult, you get to a point where you take stock of where you are and you say, okay, this is where I am. I'm 31, but there's some things I want to correct.
Okay.
Right? I want to re-strengthen my foundation.
Okay.
I want to optimize how I'm operating as a company, as a business.
Okay.
So I think we're definitely in that phase where we're taking stock.
Okay.
We are trying to optimize everything that we're offering. We're trying to optimize our services. We're trying to optimize our products. We're trying to make sure our foundation is strong enough to take us to our 40th birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And then what is to come, definitely some extent of expansion.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
We want to be in a few more places than where we are now.
Okay.
But to do that effectively, it's important that we take stock and we recalibrate.
True.
So that we are building on a very, very strong foundation.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And I can bet that you're someone that is very serious when it comes to legacy.
Yes.
What would you want your legacy to be? If we were to describe you in past tense, what would your legacy be? Or would you want your legacy to be?
Wow. Sabi writers.
Sorry.
That's a tough question.
Sometimes as builders, we are so busy, immersed in the process of building that so we don't pause. Somebody once said that you don't see the picture when you are in the frame.
Yes.
So sometimes it's important that we just step back and look at what we are building and ask ourselves, okay, what's the point?
Yeah. Okay, well, I think I would like to demonstrate the power of courage.
Okay.
The power of persistence.
Okay.
The power of faith.
Okay.
And I want people to be empowered by me, by them experiencing me. So I want my legacy to be that anything that I touch got better. Right? Anybody, and not just things, like whether it's a company, whether it's a person, whether it's anyone I meet, whether it's my children, anyone that I experience or that experiences me, got better. So that's very important to me.
Good, great. Yeah. That's a very powerful legacy to want to have, and also you're consciously making that happen, because the first time I met you was at a training that we both attended.
Yes.
And you left an indelible mark on me, positive one. And today, here we are again.
Yes.
On Saturday, both of us will be on the stage speaking to entrepreneurs and sharing. So you're already on that path.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much for what you do for the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nigeria.
Yes.
It was so important that we have people like you who are building and who are willing to also share their insights, their experience, their lessons, their victories, and also their struggles to younger. Because sometimes it feels like, not that it feels like entrepreneurship is a lonely path. There's a mountain that only you have to climb. But then when you see fellow climbers, people who have gone up the mountain and come back, and they have the 10 commandments in front of them and say, you know what, these are the rules.
Yes.
Yeah, it gives you some kind of reassurance to also make that trip. So if you're watching us or you have been watching us since we started this episode, I want to say be encouraged. If you're an entrepreneur building, maybe you have a team or you're thinking of building your own team, and somehow you are stuck, or you feel like you're going through that season in your journey where it feels lonely, be assured that you are not the only person on that path.
Yes.
We're on that path. I'm on that path. She's on that path. And the beauty is that when we all come together as an ecosystem to speak life into ourselves, it helps us to cover enough grounds so that together we can build businesses that can not only create jobs, because we need a lot of jobs in Nigeria and by extension Africa, but businesses that will stand the test of time. My business is 7 years, her business is 31 years, so it's possible. And we are looking forward to that time when Nigeria will have businesses that have stayed 100 years as the baseline standard. And we can't get there if you have a low pain tolerance index. And my encouragement to you watching us is that you stay on it and you keep building. We have had a good time with you, Ma. What will be your last words? What will be your last words to entrepreneurs, builders, entrepreneurs as well, who are working in high growth? People like my media chief. I don't think he's not on the screen, but he's here, and some other amazing persons working in Sabi Writers. So what would you have? What would be your message?
Yeah, I would say, well done.
Okay.
Nigeria needs you. And, in everything that you do, please just do your best, right? Do your best, be committed to doing your best, and be committed to growth. You don't know what is possible when you do your best in everything that you do. And there's a lot that is possible when you do that. So I encourage you to do your best, give everything your best shot, and just keep growing and keep going. Thank you.
Oh, great. Do your best. And like I always say, let's keep building. Nigeria needs you. Africa needs you. And we look forward to the next episode where we'll be featuring another amazing builder, entrepreneur, or business leader in Nigeria. And we also will be featuring some amazing personalities, not only from Nigeria, but also other African countries. And the goal is for us to tell you that, yes, there are builders in Nigeria, there are builders in Africa. And if you're a builder yourself, then we welcome you to the club as we continually work together to make our country and our continent a better place. See you in our next episode of The Builder Story. But in the meantime, please remember to subscribe and click on your notification button so that you'll be part of the persons that receive our videos when we post. God bless you. See you next time.